All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brunch with Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. Great show slated for this afternoon. Thanks to everybody for coming on in. Tex is under the weather, but you know who I have? The lovely Brandy joins me in Studio B from a lovely state of Missouri. Brandy from the Blondes and the Booze podcast. Please subscribe to the Blondes and the Booze if not already. If you're new, subscribe to Bigfoot, Michigan Rob on YouTube, Texas Front Porch. Donnie Show says stuff. Paranormal Paul. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World. Thank you in advance for that. I also want to thank everybody for coming on in and for buying my 2 books that are out there on Amazon. That's right. Y'all know about book 1, over a year old. Find that on Amazon. Book 2's been out for 2 or 3 months now. Bigfoot Michigan Rob presents True Cryptid Encounters, books 1 and 2, available on Amazon. Type Bigfoot Michigan Rob in your Amazon browser. Leave a review. For those that bought it, thank you once again. Leave a review. It does help promote sales. You can also find us on Instagram, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, wherever podcasts are found. Also, the Super Chat's open for those of you that would like to make a donation. It does help the show. Also, you can become a BMR pirate. Arr! Join today. Join the many. Join the few. Depending on your point of view, you get a picture of me with your the bandana next to your name in the chat room. We got a little Halloween show for you tonight. I don't know what the direction is going to be, but with that being said, I'm going to bring up the lovely Brandy. Hello, Brandy.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Yes.
Gemini Moon, your books are great Christmas gifts. That season is coming. You know, tonight's Halloween. You know, Brandy, I was just at my local, I guess it was Walgreens or one of those drugstores, and they already have all the Christmas stuff out, you know?
I know.
I mean, it's not even, I mean, you know, the candy's not been passed to the kids tonight as of yet. Yet I can buy a Christmas tree at 50% off, mind you.
Yeah. Yes.
You know? I mean,
I just wish they'd wait to after Halloween Then you can
You
put out
know,
the Christmas stuff to sell. I mean, I get it.
yeah, I mean, last week they had shopping carts full of Halloween candy 50% off, which is cool if you didn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started bringing out the Christmas stuff.
I know. I know. I'm like, I don't even want to look at it yet. I don't even want to look
Oh,
at it.
me either. And I must tell you, I love Christmas. Growing up as a kid, I had a great. I was fortunate, right? Some people are not so much. And I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong. But you know what's going to really bug me tomorrow when I go to my favorite radio station? They're going to be playing Christmas songs November 1st, Brandy.
Oh,
Oh, look, I'm an advocate for Christmas. I love the holiday season. I do. Don't get me wrong.
right.
November 1st, hearing White Christmas, it's just, I avoid the radio.
I
I
do.
really do. I do. I don't want to hear that. I do not.
I don't either. It's like, let me enjoy the holiday we're in before we move on to the next one. And then we move on to the next one. Um, as it is like, right at the, New Year's, I think they're starting to put out Valentine's stuff.
Well, here's the thing too. Okay, in the state of Michigan, November 1st, you're starting the music trickles in for Christmas. They bypass Thanksgiving. I remember when we were little kids, and probably the same for you, Brandy. I think that you remember the Thanksgiving parade, Santa
Yes.
coming down, the key to the castle, the key to the city.
Yes.
That was when the Christmas music then went on air, which I'm
Yeah.
fine with back in the day.
It's when Santa follows up the parade, Christmas starts.
Yeah, little Santa Claus is coming to town, blasts on the radio or on the television. I That's what I liked. Not November 1st.
Right.
Because if I listen to that starting tomorrow, I will be Christmased out, or at least with the music, by Thanksgiving,
Yeah. We'll be done.
you know?
It's
And
like
they'll
almost like we should set up our Christmas trees tomorrow and just leave
yeah,
it till February.
forget that just, the other day prior, it was, goblins, ghosts, and ghouls. Now we're into reindeer, Santa Claus, and Frosty the Snowman.
Right. I
You
want
know,
I want to enjoy pumpkins and turkeys still. Okay.
I do too. I want that turkey before I start thinking about my stocking being stuffed.
Right? Right?
I, and it's all marketing. All these retailers, they got to they got to market their brand. They want sales to start immediately. And I get it. We live in a different world today. I get all that, but boy, let me enjoy
Um,
and savor the other holidays. Yeah, and you said, and my point too is like they don't on the 26th of December they stop Christmas music. And I would rather have it like end of November because I still like the holidays. Everybody's off during the Christmas week, and then they're done with Christmas music on the 26th. Well, it shouldn't have started November 1st for one, so my pet peeve, and it always bugs me, they've been doing this now for the last 5, 6 years, it seems, or longer.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but I am glad they're starting to back off on these Black Friday things. I think it was getting a little bit too much for everybody. Um, it got to where people didn't even want to go shopping on Black Friday. They just went to Cyber Mondays, and all that stuff because it was brutal out there. People were just not nice. And, I mean, you'd always see on the news where, some squabble broke out and it's just,
or I remember several years ago, locally here, there was they had like 65-inch TVs. They were advertising for some really cheap price. The first 50 they would sell for like $300, and we're talking about like $1,000 TV.
right.
And there was like a million people in line to get into Best Buy. They opened the doors, and there was stampedes where people were literally getting run over. And in some
Absolutely.
states where there not a couple deaths occurred from
Mm-hmm.
being trampled on by these people just running in these stores. That's
Yeah,
insane.
they didn't think that through though. They should have just, the first person that walked in got a ticket. The next person walked in got a ticket. Everybody holding the ticket gets a TV. Simple.
Yeah, and freaky with a cool point. Black anything nowadays don't seem right. Yeah, well, true.
And that is true. That is true. And like I said, I stopped doing those Black Friday sales years ago because they were just, I mean, people are getting in like I said, squabbles over bath towels.
Oh boy, Beth. Yeah,
It kind of takes away from, from what
yeah,
we're trying to get at. We're trying to have the holidays with family and all this other stuff, but here we are fighting at Walmart for bath towels.
yeah. And the only thing, yeah, no, we are. I mean, I noticed that too. And the only thing I will say this, and we'll move on because this is not about Christmas, but it's just
No.
like tomorrow I'm gonna be hearing the music. Well, I'm gonna avoid
Yep.
it at all costs.
Yep. The Hallmark movie should be starting.
Yeah, well, I think they run those in April. I
They,
don't
they
watch it,
might
but
just run them all year long.
you
They
ever go
might.
through cable and you see, oh, Hallmark, oh, Christmas love,
Right.
okay, whatever. I don't watch that anyway. But the only, and you mentioned Black Friday, the internet, that Black Monday where it's $1 billion changed
The
hands.
Cyber Monday, yeah.
$1 billion changed hands. The only thing that sucks about technology, being a former business owner, I love the retail, the big box stores.
I
It does
do.
sadden me that there's nobody in these stores. I do like to mingle with the crowds during the holidays. The crowds that, of course, are not raucous and rude, which is a part of our society today.
Right.
But those people lose out on all this, money, and that saddens me that in another decade we might not even have a retailer to go to.
Right. But don't you remember when um we would, well, most people go on the Black Friday sales, but it was more or less just families getting out, doing a little bit of shopping,
Yeah.
enjoying, some retail
No,
therapy, nothing serious, that's
I
what we
remember.
did.
Yeah, I remember after, Thursday, you had your things, giving dinner with your friends and family, whatever, took in some football. The next morning, you went out and it was more of just a get together with family. And I
Yeah.
remember that was just fun. Whether you bought anything or not, you were just looking at the sales. And if something caught your eye, you bought it, right?
Right.
And the people back then were all just festive and happy.
Yes. It was kind of like
Today
a
it's
family outing. It used to be. Yes.
and today it's all about business. I
Oh yeah.
want it now. I want it now.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see that the big stores are backing off on that, and I'm glad that they're doing that because it's just crazy. But I mean, if they want to impress me, the best thing that I seen was on it was on a meme or something. It says we all have TVs now. Can we just have deals on groceries? That'd be nice,
Help out with that Christmas dinner for sure. Since we
right?
all know this, we've all felt it in the pocketbook. I think I'm paying 300% for just groceries over the last 18 months, 24 months, whatever.
Yeah,
Scott M says the blue light special at Kmart. I missed that. And that's sad that I don't think a single Kmart exists now. There was one in my neighborhood that was a staple for decades, and they went bye-bye like 10 years ago. And now I don't think there's any Kmarts for those. Most of us know what Kmart is, right? And they're gone. It's just sad times, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But you always try to make a positive out of it.
That's true. But it's Halloween. And we need to talk about spooky stuff. This is my
I
favorite
was just
holiday.
going to move in that. It's a holiday to start with me October 1st.
It's my favorite holiday.
I know it is.
Unfortunately, it is raining here and it has been raining since I got up at 2:30 this morning. My
Yes.
hair is telling me that it's nasty outside.
It is
And
nasty. It's
yeah,
nasty.
but I love the rain, but I like to watch it from the inside.
Yeah, me too. Well, for Halloween, it sucks for the kids. Here in
It does.
Michigan, which I always talk about the weather of Michigan,
Right.
where I live, it's 76 degrees and thunderstorms right now.
It's probably about that. It was that this morning. I don't know if it's cooled down yet or not. It's still kind of humid, so there's a little bit more rain out there. I know
It's
we need the
very
rain, but they're
humid.
saying that it's supposed to taper off in the afternoon, so maybe the kids will get a good go of it tonight.
I hope so. As long as the rain just moves out of the system, like I said, it's coming down cats and dogs. It's hot. It's humid. I don't like the heat in end of October, starting November. That's terrible. I as much as I like the summer, I'm
Right,
down for summer, mid
right,
August. After 4th of
right,
July, I start planning for the fall. That's me. But yeah, but it's
right.
all about Halloween. It's all about spooky stuff. And
You
if
know I like
anybody
spooky
wants
stuff.
to, we're gonna talk some spooky stuff. I might revisit one of my favorite spooky stories a little later, Brandy. And if there's anybody that would like to tell a spooky story, I'll drop a link if anybody's interested, and you can share it if you like. Today's just kind of one of those. It's the last show of the month for me, and it happens to be Halloween, and so yeah, Brandy, what's up? And we can maybe get into maybe our favorite movies. We can go all over the place.
Yeah.
Brandy, and
It,
you're yeah, so we can do whatever we want. Today's no holds barred, whatever type of show. And Brandy, being an investigator in the paranormal for so many years, what's some of the creepier things that you've come across that is fitting for Halloween? I know I'm
well,
making you think a little out of the box, but you're very good at that anyway.
I think the freakiest thing that has ever happened to me happened this year.
Oh wow,
And
okay,
it
great.
happened at Malvern Manor in Malvern, Iowa. And I actually felt somebody push my arm, and not easily, not just a brush, not like tickle, not the cobweb feel. I mean, push like a man would push somebody, not hard, but firm. And I've never had an entity touch me to that degree. Most of the time it's like the cobwebs or the pulling of the hair, maybe a tugging on my shirt or, something like that. But this was a full on, let's just push your arm away, where I actually moved my arm away. So I was very taken aback by that. That just told me right there that that particular entity had a lot of energy, that it was strong. And sometimes when you're going to these haunted locations, you will run across one or two, especially if the location is well hunted, um, because they suck up a lot of energy from a lot of people that come through there, or the batteries and any type of energy. If there's a lot coming through, you're going to find one or two that are pretty strong usually. And I sure did. I sure did. That kind of freaked me out. I think I was talking in tongues and said "God bless America" and something else.
I'd have to imagine of all the experiences that I've had, I've never been physically touched. That would probably send chills through my body to be touched by something.
You know, Rob, and I have to say this about you. You're very intuitive. You've got something about you that's kind of like a draw, and I'm sure that at some point you have been touched. You just kind of brushed it off, and you don't even think about it. You can't even remember it. It's kind of like, like when your shirt's being tugged and you're like, what is that? And you think, oh, it's my chair or it's whatever, and you just brush it off. I'm pretty sure that's probably happened to you a time or two.
Well, if I look back to it, you're mentioning about the shirt thing. I do remember more than once. I remember a couple examples I can cite right away. Sitting in this particular chair, if I were to get up, I felt like a tug at the back of my shirt. I have. I'm not just making that up. And I always attributed that to it's just stuck to the chair. But I'm like, how does it really, now that you bring it up, how does it really get stuck to the chair? I mean, but
Right,
where it just gets stuck and I have to go like this and unattach it. And they kind of looked at the chair. Oh, there's nothing there. But
right,
again, like you said, Brandy, I thought nothing of it,
right,
you know, or
right.
I've had the shirt being pulled at in a Kroger.
And you're like, what am I catching my clothes on?
I have no idea. Yeah,
Y-
exactly.
Exactly. So, I mean, with you, I'm pretty sure that you've had a couple of things, but now that you're opening up to it, I mean, you're seeing more and things like that, and we're discussing it, so that helps. Um,
Yeah.
I think you'll pay attention to it more, and you'll be like, "How did that happen? How did that happen?" It's
Well, I
um, it's crazy
yeah,
though.
no, it is crazy, and and I and that reminds me of I talked about Kroger, and for those of you that are new, please subscribe to our channels, of course, and if you are new, you haven't heard this story, and maybe a lot of you haven't. Um, but the weirdest thing though, and you've heard this, Brandy, which I don't know what this was. Do you remember the story I told you when I was in Kroger? And I was in the middle of the aisle, and it was around Christmas time. I think it
Yes,
was yeah, and there was this woman. There was this woman who looked at me, and older woman. She was, older than my mom, and very polite, very nice. And she had mentioned to me, she said like "God bless you" or something, and I'm like, "Well, thank you, same to you." I mean, how do you respond to that? I mean,
right.
out of the blue, she's maybe 8 or 9 feet away from me, and I remember that I was wearing this brand new jacket, or not a new jacket. It was newly washed because I pulled it out because I remember it was a springish day in December. Pockets zipped up. I empty all the pockets, nothing in. I washed it and I put on the coat when I went to Kroger. And yeah, and I got this feeling. I don't know what the feeling was, but I continued on and looked for whatever I was looking for on the shelf. Then I happened to look in my left pocket, and this is kind of a Halloweenish, it's kind of spooky, and I don't wear jewelry. I've got a cool necklace that I wear once in a while, and that's it, right? And so I'm not a jewelry guy. Especially, I don't buy like I don't buy crosses and all emblems and all these things.
I'm not a big jewelry person either. Mm-mm.
One day I might get a cool little bracelet to match my necklace, but that's all I would ever consider doing, right? So I happened to reach in my pocket, and this is what I found. It was a cross. I've never owned a cross in my life. I owned a rosary when I went to catechism, when I was growing up, going to Catholic school for 7 years, church Monday through Friday. This was in my pocket. BMR don't sport stuff like this. And if you see, there's even a little circle, where a chain was on. I don't carry this. And I looked to that lady. It got put in my pocket somehow, but my pockets were zipped. They were zipped. So I'm wondering, was that lady a ghost? Because when I looked, she was like gone. She was gone out of the alleyway, the aisleway, and she was old. There's no way she could have moved 30 feet, 50 feet, and disappeared that fast. I'm
Right.
thinking that was a haunting that I experienced at Kroger with that woman. Or was it a woman, Brandy? I'm thinking it wasn't.
You know, it could be a lot of things. I mean, one theory is it was a spirit leaving you a gift. Um, I mean, we can go that way, but what you probably have not explored is maybe a spirit guide going, "Hey, you need this. And if I can't get your attention to get it, I'm going to give it to you."
You
So
know,
maybe they appeared that way and said, "Hey,
yeah,
you might need this."
you know, that's a great point because of all my years, very few people out of the blue that I can recall said, "God bless you," just out of the blue. Has it been said to me, after I talked to a couple people, maybe in the story? Yeah, when we're done talking, when we've had physical communication. But just for a woman to look at me, we make eye contact,
Mhm.
smiles, "God bless you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Same to you."
Mhm.
And go about my business. And then, whatever reason, and I don't even know why I reached in my pocket, Brandy. I just did, unzipped my coat pocket. I have to reiterate, you guys, nothing is in my pockets. I never bought this in my life. anything like this in my life and to pull this out. I immediately looked to that woman and she's gone.
Mhm.
So so I've kept it. I I don't carry it on my person, but I keep it like right back of me where I just pulled it from because but I didn't I thought if I were to throw it away, I wouldn't feel right about it. It
Right.
appeared in my pocket for a reason, which is what you were just talking about a little earlier.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, definitely, I mean, we'll never know exactly, um, what happened there, but if your pockets were zipped, you
Oh,
didn't have it in your pocket, you never owned one, there'd be
no,
no
never.
reason for it to be in your pocket.
No.
I I would say that somebody or something put it there for a reason. Now, whether that be a spirit guide, guardian, whatever you wanna call it, um, they do things like that event, not necessarily so brazen like to show up, and say God bless you, but they give you little signs and stuff. But this sounds like, Rob, maybe you got it at a time that you probably most needed it, or you were coming into a time that you're going to need it. Either way.
With that being said, do you think that's something that I should carry when I leave the house? Do you think that is something I should have on my person? Thank you, Diane Boss,
Thank
for
you,
the awesome
Diane.
super chat. I love you. Thank you. Diane's just
Uh,
spectacular. Always comments, gives a thumbs up. Thanks, Diane.
yeah, she's a sweetheart. Um, I I'm thinking when you put yourself in a position where you're going to need a little boost. Like if I were going into a haunted location or whatever, if I needed a little boost, um, I would carry that if I were you.
Yeah, because I haven't. When I got it, I certainly put it back, zipped up my pocket, put it back, and it kind of threw off my whole day. And I kind of, to expand on the story, when that lady was gone, I said, "Man, she disappeared like in an instant." And again, she couldn't have walked that fast out of the aisleway. Before
Right.
I left, when I got my cart filled up, and I think I was just buying minimal, whatever the hell it was, I forget. Probably
Right.
hot sauce, knowing me, right? Which I had hot sauce experience again at the same Kroger, by the way, because I go to a couple different ones, and one is where I've had weird encounters or experiences. But I did make a point to kind of look for this woman. I looked in all the checkouts. I looked in up and down the aisles. I did make a point to find her and just make a connection with her to see if I could read into her because I am pretty good at that anyway. I for whatever I can. I mean,
Hmm.
we all know all those stories and didn't find her. Went in the parking lot, gone. So I think the fact that maybe yeah, you're right about maybe I should bring that with me or maybe put it in my vehicle.
That's a good place for it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could all use a little help on the road. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I carry stuff like that in my car, and because for some reason we've all seen it, but there's been a horrible accident, something's
Yeah.
happened, and that they may need a little extra help, or say for you, like you were almost involved in an accident and you're like, whew, I dodged that, thank goodness. I mean, people are driving crazy. I don't know how many times I've said that.
Oh, for
And
sure.
but I've always remembered having something in my vehicle, a little something that I always carry in there. It's always a cross or something else. I do get mine blessed, so I do carry them in my car. I mean, I have them in there for many different reasons. Like when I go to a location, I go into a location, I come back out. Well, my car is covered. It's the spiritual light is covering me every time I get in my car. So
Mhm.
I take comfort in knowing that. If that sounds strange, but I take
No, not
comfort
at
in
all. I
that.
mean, not to me, not at all. Kind of off topic a little bit, and I thought this was kind of I don't know what it was. My father, he
Mhm.
passed away 7 years ago. Now, great guy, I love my dad, great provider for the family, for my brother and I. My mother, put me through college. I mean, where I went to college was not cheap. U of M. My dad
Mhm.
made enough money where we couldn't get financial aid. He saved all his money. He whenever went to college, wanted me and my brother to go to college. And but my dad, I don't know if he believed in God at all, to be honest with you. Now, my dad's idea to send me to a Catholic school, which is ironic because he never went to church. I heard him throughout his life say, well, he don't know if he believes in God and all this.
Right.
And that's just my dad. And hey, I love him to death, regardless of his beliefs.
Mhm.
But a couple days before he died, his sister gave him one of those scapulas, which I thought was kind of creepy to
Yeah.
put around his neck. And she says, and I'll never forget this. She goes, Bobby. My dad's name was Bob. Called him Bobby. This is so you go to heaven. Because she goes, I don't know that you're going to make it. I thought it was the most worst thing you could tell a father or your brother.
No.
I haven't talked to her since.
I don't think I would have.
Don't you think that scared the shit out of my dad? He
Yeah,
died like
because
2 days
he probably
after.
was not in the
It
mindset
wasn't even
saying,
thinking of that.
yeah, I mean, but that's he wasn't probably in the mindset to turn around and go, I don't think you should worry about me. I think you should worry
I
about yourself.
I think so.
Because
Now
somebody
again,
who
everybody
says
listening,
something like that,
yeah, and again, my
mm,
dad's a great guy. He did not. I think he believed in God. He's like me today. I've been to church in 20 years. Okay, I believe in God. I
wow.
say my prayers every night. I have not been to church except for funerals and weddings in the last 20 years. I don't go.
Hmm.
I say my prayers, talk to God my way every night. I do, and whether people
Right.
like that or don't, that's me, and I that's me. That's who I am. I don't pull no punches. I don't lie to people. I don't go to church. Don't mean I don't believe in God.
It
I
doesn't,
question whether my dad did. I think in his heart of hearts he did, but he never was exuberant about it. He was never say, "Hey, we got to go to church on Christmas Day." He was like, "Do what you want to do. I ain't going."
right, right,
Right? I don't know what his deep thoughts were when it came to that.
right.
I'm guessing he believed because he's so weird. In the army, when I was not even born, when he was single before he met my mom, he got the easiest job in the army. He wanted to be a cook, but then he ended up getting a job as a driver for a chaplain of all people.
Oh my goodness.
So I
I
think,
want that job. I'll
you
take that
know,
job.
we drove this guy, and it was in Germany. So he
Yeah, I'll
saw
take that job.
all of Germany. Thanks, Diane, but I'm gonna pull this now. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I'm still confused. But again, I don't know. So, but that's kind of creepy for your sister to tell you that. I
Yeah,
would
that is
freak
kind of
out. I would
creepy.
freak out.
Right. Well, I have to tell you what happened creepy to me this morning.
Yes, please.
Well, because if you've watched Blondes and Booze or even with Rob late
I
nights, I mean, we've talked about my haunting. We've talked about all
yeah.
this stuff that goes on. I had something else happen this morning, which I found really odd. So I never, ever, ever have my radio on in my car,
Oh
ever.
boy. Hmm.
I usually do. I listen to the podcast that I've missed, which some of people were in here that I watch the podcast. I listen to those when I have free time, because I do podcast 6 nights a week. So when I have time, I catch everybody else's, at other times. I get into my car this morning and I turn my car on, and my radio is on in my car full blast. I have no idea. The thing was locked. The alarm was on.
And you turn it off the
Nobody
prior
got
night.
in
Yeah.
it. My
And you
daughter
said
would have
your
never
volume
gone
was
out there in
turned
the
down in the
dark.
car prior or turned off.
My car was turned off.
Right. and the
Right. And I
radio was
got
turned
in and
off.
I turned it
Yeah.
on because I was leaving for work this morning, and the radio was on full blast, but I never have the radio on. Never.
Mm,
Not
yeah.
not the AM FM stations ever. I just don't
Wow.
listen to the radio. I listen to my podcast and stuff through YouTube and
Yeah.
other stuff. I don't ever
Yeah.
listen to that stuff because I want something soothing. Because we all know that the radio stations don't ever play all of your favorite songs.
Well,
Sometimes they're playing this nonsense that you don't want to listen to. You know what I mean? It's
I
just like,
don't
oh,
even
okay, no, thanks.
what I do in the car. First of all, radio. There's no such thing as cool radio stations if you're into music because it's either the same stuff you've heard over and over. How
Yes.
many times can I hear "Dream On" by Aerosmith?
Right.
I don't need
Right.
to hear it. A great song growing up, loved it. Today,
Right.
I could care less if I never hear that song again. So the radio is just I don't even know if there's disc jockeys anymore, Brandy.
There isn't.
I think they pop a tape and they let it play and you get this you can hear the
They
same
record it.
song all over. So I listen to mostly sports talk radio in the car
Right. They
or at the
record. This is
house,
what they do:
you
is
know.
they record their session. That's
Yeah.
all they do. They just record them, and then they just pop them in when necessary. Usually, there's an admin person in the building, and that's all you got. There's not really a disc jockey anymore.
No, there's
That's
not.
all they do. Not unless you're into the bigger cities where they have the radio shows, the morning shows and things like
Yeah,
talk radio. But for the ones
and
that
these
just, I know the one that is in my small town, there's nobody there.
Yeah, no, there's not, and I believe that because again, it's all the same stuff. And if you listen to a radio program long enough, it's you can tell it's recorded.
Yes.
You know, see, they used to have cool. Probably where you live in St. Louis, there was like Detroit. I mean, we're the Motor City, we're the rock and roll capital of the world. Some people will maybe argue that, but
Right.
we had like cool morning drive time shows with cool disc jockeys, and
Yes.
they also spoke though. And they told stories and they talked about cool things for 2 or 3, 4 minutes and played a couple tunes. We don't have that no more. The only talk radio that exists, at least where I live, is sports talk radio. I mean, it's on around 24/7 because sports is king now. Sports takes over music on the radio waves where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah, because
suspect
I
it's the
think
same in
everybody,
LA, New
well,
York,
they're,
all the big markets.
and I don't know if it's whether they're making this music that they can't even play on radio because of the lyrics, um,
Well, that depends. Yeah.
but see,
I
that's
know,
why I got really freaked out when I turned my car on because it startled me because I don't listen to the radio.
no,
Mm-mm,
no, you don't.
ever. I
In
just
fact,
never did.
you're
I hate that.
you're podcasting and listen to the shows while your
Yeah,
favorite
documentaries, things like that.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
don't I don't listen to the radio either, to be honest. The radio is on, but it's on a sports show. But that's it.
mhm,
And if I'm making a long travel, I'll throw on a podcast. You know.
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
will. Yeah, if you're traveling.
Yeah, it
Speak
usually for me, it's just kind of like, I don't really listen to the radio. If my daughter's in the car, we'll listen to some music, but it's on YouTube, so we can pick and choose exactly what we want to hear. So I mean that's fine, but it's never the radio.
right. I got you. And that is creepy, Brandy.
I know.
That's
Yeah, I don't even know what that's about. I mean, I said, well, happy Halloween.
yeah. Well, maybe that was a Halloween gift because we know you have spirits floating in your house.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just seems like it's everywhere, but I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no explanation for it because, like I said, I do not. Everything that
Right.
I do is Bluetooth audio, and I stick the cord into my phone, and then there we go. That's it. That's it. Never the
Yeah.
radio.
This now that you bring up the radio, it comes up with a story of that I had gotten. Now, this is not a long story. It's I was talking to this person on an email, and then we were texting back and forth. And the person subscribes to the show actually, and every once in a while is in the chat room, but told me not to bring up their name if I ever mentioned this. I might have mentioned this only one time, but since you brought up the radio thing, this is very creepy. So this person, in fact, Brandy, they were listening to one of the nightmare show I did when I was having the nightmare. And for those that
Yes.
don't know that one, there's a BMR show called Nightmares on my channel, and it's where it was funny because I woke up at 5 in the morning because Brandy was in this nightmare, and Brandy was up at 5 in the morning, and it was kind of like we had a connection. And I not remember I called you,
Yeah, I was
and
up
you had
too.
something going on where I don't know if you were thinking about me or something about me, but you happened to get a haunting yourself, much like I did.
Yeah.
And then I
It,
said, "Hey,
it
listen, I
yeah,
got to tell you
it was
something
a
weird."
restless night that night. It was
Yeah,
yeah. There wasn't much sleep to be had.
no. And you were in the dream. I woke up. I said, "Shit, I gotta call Brandy."
Mhm.
And boom, you answered on one ring. And
Yeah.
normally when I call Brandy, everybody, she calls me back 24 hours later. Okay. So she,
Well, texting too, I might
yeah,
text you
yeah, I
24
know.
hours later.
Yeah, I know you do.
Might be up to,
Yeah.
72 hours,
But
but
that
yeah, I'll
was,
text you back.
yeah, go check that show out. It was really cool. But, but going back to this, I bring up the dream that you were in with me is because this person that I was talking with was having dreams, very haunting dreams with a very creepy voice.
Yeah.
And it was getting into saying, in her dreams, it was like somebody was watching her, a dark, shadowy figure. And this person got to the point where they would not even go to bed at night because they didn't want to fall into the scary dream. Kind of like what
Right.
I was experiencing a couple of years ago, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
That's why they contacted me, want to know more about my dreams, right? So I'm like, so I'm telling her my experiences. Oh, I said her. It was a girl. Okay. Um, so well, Rob, I got to tell you about these dreams that I've been having with this voice, very distinguishable voice, very audible, and it just went on for weeks. But the dream she could never quite remember. It was just this haunting voice, and it was something nefarious. It wasn't
Mhm.
positive. And then she started hearing whispers in her houses while she was awake with this same voice. Hidden whispers of this same voice. Now, when she's awake, it could be daytime, afternoon, night, didn't matter. And this started going on. Person thinks you're going crazy. What do I have going on here? Rob, what do you think I got? Well, I'm not an expert in the field. I don't know. You got something going on. I mean, now if the dreams are now, you're hearing this voice not only while you sleep, but you're hearing the dream while you're awake at all times of the day. That's something you got to check into.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So we,
No, that's strange now. Yeah. To
yeah, so
actually be having a daydream, but a day nightmare, I guess. A nightmare during the
yeah,
day.
well, and again, yeah, dreaming it, hearing the distinctive voice going on for several months. Can't really remember the dream, just the voice and something very creepy going on. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden to be wide awake any time of the day to hear that same voice
Mhm.
whispering throughout her home.
Mhm.
She said she heard it whisper to her at a shop looking for clothes. So this person was really, really scared. And I offered the best advice I could. And then she told me this, which totally blew my mind. Much like you, Brandy, does not listen to the radio.
Right.
In fact, the radio is kind of turned off. It's on the off button.
Mhm.
This person was telling me that when they drive a car, they get very distracted very readily, and they don't like background noise driving because they like to concentrate on the road.
Yeah.
As it turned out, this person was involved in an automobile accident not once but twice throughout their life, in which one time she was in a hospital and had
Mm-mm.
to get saved by the doctor, almost died, and then 4
No.
years later broke a leg. So
No.
when she's in the car, no distractions. In fact, if there's a passenger in the car, please don't talk to me unless we're at a stoplight or a stop sign. I want
Right.
to concentrate. So this person really shouldn't even be driving because they're scared of their own shadow. And now these dreams, these voices are appearing to her audibly, right? I shouldn't say appear, hearing them. In the car, driving wherever the hell she's going, radio off, speakers through the speakers. She's driving. She says she's 15, 20 minutes into her travel. Radio off. I see you. I know where you're going. Comes echoes through her speakers of her car. Brandy, Brandy. She looks
Mm-mm.
down to the radio. It's off. She literally turns the knob to the right where it clicks on. It was on the off position. And then one final thing, it laughed. It laughed a laugh, a spooky laugh after that. What in the
No,
hell is
no,
that?
that thing was in the car with her.
That followed her into her car.
It was in her car with her. She was hearing this thing. It
Yes.
was a disembodied voice she was hearing in the car. Now, I've done the same thing. I've heard him in my car. I've also seen a shadow person in my car just not too long ago, about a month or two ago. Saw it in my car, peek around my back seat. I've seen this. That thing was, yeah, that was in the car with her. Mm-mm. That would definitely do it for me. Yeah.
I'm actually
I mean, especially if you're not used to that type of activity and this is just something new that started happening. Um, I'm sure it's unsettling. It would think you were losing your mind because I mean, what do you start hearing voices? What's happening? You know, I mean, you could look at it from several different standpoints. I mean, you would be thinking, hey, I have got a serious mental issue. I'm hearing voices now.
I would think I was having a mental issue. Now, today, probably not so, since I've experienced so much, stuff in my life. I wouldn't
Yes.
freak out, think I'm nuts, because I know that it's something from a
Hmm.
different realm, perhaps,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Hello, thanks to everybody for coming on in. If I'm not saying hi, hello, I just sent a couple messages
I
out. Hey, Chris, Mindfork, love you all.
I
Thank you
know
so
I'm
much for
seeing a lot
coming on in.
of old names out there, and
Yeah,
hey, I miss you guys. I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm seeing some new faces. Well, hello, it's nice to
yeah.
meet you.
And if you are new, subscribe to the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, Texas Front Porch.
Or see us
So
come together Saturday nights,
see us come together
late
Saturday night at
night.
midnight. That's the big show. Saturday night is a great show. I do a midnight, 11 Central. Me, Brandy, Krista, Monica Rollins. That's a fun show. We talk. It's a little funny, but then we get serious as well. So a great show. It's becoming very popular. Midnight Saturday night with BMR and Brandy, Krista, Monica. So,
Right.
and of course, you're on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with your Blondes and
Yeah, I'm
Blues.
on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah, well,
Sunday.
you're on. Yes, you're on like all the. Yes, you are. And then tonight I'm on with you on the Blondes and Booze. We have Dr.
Yes, you're going to
Dennis
be on with
Carroll.
me, and we're going to be talking to Dennis Carroll tonight, talking about
Yeah.
spooky stuff.
Yeah, I love Dennis. He was on 2 weeks ago for the early Halloween show.
Yeah, well, maybe
Hello,
we can see if
Grandizer. Hi, Grandizer.
maybe we
We have
can see
six.
if Dennis will get really super spooky.
Yeah, well, I'll pull it out of him.
Tell him some
Six.
frightening stories.
Yeah, there's 60 people in chat, you guys. I couldn't type out all your names. I apologize.
It's
Hey,
like, hi,
so
everybody. Hi,
well,
everybody.
going a blanket hello. But
Right.
going back to that story, Brandy. So this lady, we were talking via email, and then we started talking text messaging, friends on Facebook. So we're doing the old DM, and
Mm-hmm.
then here's the thing. So she's asking me what I think it was, and I gave her my best opinion, right?
Right.
Speculation. I'm not a guru when it comes to the paranormal and this. Even if you've had experiences like I've had, I don't know where these things come from, right? I mean, I have an
Mm-hmm.
idea since I've met you guys, but again, it's still, you just don't know. So she says she sends me her phone number, wants to call me and talk in person. I said, yeah, I can do that, I guess. I don't like giving out my phone number, but I said, you know what? I've been talking with you for over a month. You seem, I'll help you. Call me. So I text her my number.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that she called me first? I said, send me a text first because your phone will go, it'll go right to junk mail on my phone. I have it set up where if your phone number, if it's not programmed in my phone, it goes to the wasteland. I don't get it. So it says, but the text message will come through. It said, text me when you're calling, and then I will program your number in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine and dandy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know she called me and we're about a minute into the conversation, and all of a sudden it started going static. You don't get static on your phones anymore. I don't think anymore, right? It was going static, and the call dropped. I call her back a minute in, it goes static, the call drops. She calls me back. So this happened 3 times where we were talking clearly, static and call drop. Now my phone, like, hey, listen, we all have smartphones. I don't think that we drop calls that often anymore. I think that's pretty much a thing of the past. So is static. Now, of course, if you're in a low internet area, if you don't have, listen, I'm in my house. I upgrade all my internet to do these shows. So my phone in my home is
Mm-hmm.
perfect. 3 times it happened. And maybe she had a bad phone. I don't know. I thought that was, more strange just to add to this entire event. And to end this to end this briefly, you know that I've tried to email her several times and it goes to an unknown domain now. Have not
Wow.
communicated with this person in several months. Don't know
Wow.
if they tried to email me back. It says unknown domain when I sent out an email not too long ago. Unknown. That's kind of weird, Brandy. Was somebody pulling my leg? Or is this something that's definitely does not want this lady to communicate anymore to get answers?
Yeah. I I I don't know. I'm it's odd that she's not contacting you back. Even if she were to change her email or whatever, it'd be like, "Hey Rob, this is my new email."
Anything. We have
Anything.
phone numbers. We have phone numbers. I've texted her. And you know how we have that little setup? I can tell if it's no unknown text messages not read. No return response back to me on the phone. Like I said, we have numbers. We have our numbers now, each other's number. I sent a text off. Hey, what's going on? You okay? And you know how most of us have message. You can tell when someone reads it. I have that
Yes.
on mine for some. Not this doesn't work with everybody. I get it. Hey, no response, no nothing. It's been well over a month now. I just hope this person's okay. If this person's listening to the show, please let me know you're
You better
okay. 'Cause
call. Yeah.
yeah,
You better call. That's all I got to say. You better call. Because, I mean, people don't understand that, when we start texting back and forth or we email back and forth and we're discussing stories, we do have a tendency to get to know you a little bit,
you do.
and
You know,
yeah, when you stop
you know,
communicating like that, that
yeah,
does
it's kind of like
stress us out a little.
if you have like a one time email with a stranger, hey, John, you want to come on my show next Tuesday night? I understand you're into Bigfoot. Yeah, I'll come on. No, I won't come on. And that's okay, big deal. It's impersonal. But when you have
Right.
several communications, a person literally telling me personal things, a person that when I talked briefly, albeit on the phone, you could tell that they were in some sort of stress,
Right.
right?
Right.
To just not to hey, listen, Brandy, she fell off the planet. So that's
Yeah.
kind of
I
spooky.
mean,
Fitting for Halloween, but more so for the person. I'm kind of a little concerned.
I mean, we get invested in people. Don't cut us off.
Oh, I've invested in many people,
Exactly.
and
It's like
we,
we're invested in you. Don't,
yeah,
if you can hear us and you're out there somewhere, please give them a call, send your
you
new
know,
email, something.
yeah, do it, because like we can say that we can't speak for a lot of the other podcasts and shows, YouTube channels, but I know of me as a fact, you guys know this, Brandy Krista text when invite you to tell us your story, we are genuinely concerned and
Interested.
genuinely have an open ear and are interested. I don't care if the story is so far fetched. That's what we're all about, right? We're not going to judge you or make fun of you because we never walked
Right.
in your shoes. We've all had bizarre things happen to us that are, hey, let's face it, some of them are okay, really? I get that.
Right.
I don't
Right.
care. Believe me, don't believe me. Fooey on you. But to the audience member, the person that reaches out, that's what we do because we like to help everybody, right? So yeah, if you're out there, call back. I just want to make sure you're okay first and foremost, right? Right, Brandy?
Right. Right.
Did
Exactly.
this person did you succumb to the dark side? Are you alive? Are you alive?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That is strange though. And you can't find these people and you're always wondering what happened to them.
Mm.
And gosh forbid if something should happen where, that they
Uh,
pass away. I hate to say that, but they pass away and then you don't find out till later.
yeah.
And that's happened to me a couple times. And I was like, maybe I should have contacted them. And you start second guessing what you did. And
Yeah.
then you're like, maybe they're going to come haunt me. It's like, I didn't contact them. So they're going to come haunt
Yeah.
me. Something's going to happen here. Um, but yeah,
Absolutely,
I
Brandy.
mean,
You
I get
know,
it.
yeah, so I am concerned, and it is what it is. But for everybody listening, hey, listen. When we talk to you guys, we listen to you. We don't make fun of anybody. We try to help everybody, and we love your stories. And even if they're boring, hey Rob, I was going to send you an email. I find this kind of boring. I don't find any encounter boring, you guys, with paranormal, Bigfoot, or otherwise. You saw
Mhm.
something's not supposed to exist. Not boring to me, right?
Right. Right.
Not boring.
Mine's like, and how did it happen to you? It's
Yeah,
like you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine. Kind
you
of,
know.
it's that type of thing. It's like I get invested in people, boy, when they're telling stories. I want to know. I mean, because maybe, just maybe, in somebody's answer out there or the telling of their story, they have the answer and we're
Absolutely.
missing it because we're
Yeah.
not listening.
Yes, absolutely. No, I
Mm-hmm.
100%. And
Mm-hmm.
Brandy, in the spirit of Halloween, I've gotten a lot of new, and much like the Blondes and Booze, we've got a lot of new subscribers since I last did this story. And yes, for those that know me and follow me, you've heard this. But this is one of the coolest experiences. I got to tell you, Brandy, this experience might be as cool as my Bigfoot experience. My Bigfoot experience wasn't cool because of the death, and what happened to
Mm-hmm.
me. I don't really want to call that cool.
No, but it tells a story.
Yeah, it tells a story.
It tells a story, but and we don't know if it was connected or yet not, or
No,
we
and
don't know if
again,
it was connected.
and even I tell people I say my Bigfoot encounter. I don't even know if it was, but I'm not going to tell that. I've told that 1,000 times, and hey, it's on my channel. If you're new and never seen it, you can find it on the channel. But
Hmm.
this you can find on the channel too, and I've tell it a couple times, but I like always trying to tell it at Halloween because Brandy, I think it's still one of those things that we can talk about. I'm gonna tell about the ghost encounter that I had at my bar.
I love that story.
Yeah, because
That's a favorite of mine. I really
that
love
is.
that story. Hey,
Hey, Tex,
Tag.
thanks for coming on. You're coming on just in time for my ghost story. First of all, Tex, he don't sleep. He's under the weather, but he's a trooper. He's a trooper.
Yeah, I see it now. And this is how I was taking care of him. I said, "Well, hey, Tex, I'm gonna go on for you so you can get
Yep.
some rest." He says, "Thank you." Well, here you are. That
Yeah.
lasted a
Well,
whole hour, Rob. I'm just saying, a whole
Yeah, a
hour.
whole hour it lasted. Yes.
well, it well, it was more than an hour because when I got your text, when I woke up and got your text, I'd been asleep since about 6:30, right? And then I got your
Hmm.
text. What was it, about 10:30 or something?
About 10:30, yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Ye- Well,
And
the thing is that I was talking about the
I
hour
went
we've
right
been
back
on
to
the
sleep.
show.
Yeah, and so I went right back to sleep because my alarm went off, and I was going to get up and get ready and be on the show and all that kind of stuff. Because I usually get up and eat lunch and all that kind of stuff,
Hmm.
do the show. But so you actually let me sleep a long time.
Well, there you go. There you go. As long as
So,
as long as you
but
did get some rest and it was beneficial, absolutely.
I did, and I owe you a big one for that one. It was because Rob's right. I don't know if y'all, most everybody knows I'm dealing with freaking shingles, and it just sucks.
Oh no, very painful.
Yeah.
Very painful from what I understand.
um, yeah, it is. It is. The only way I can describe it is it's like a couple of dozen needles. I've got it on my back. A couple of dozen needles going in and out, in and out, in and out, all at one time. Um,
Hmm.
but they're also hot and itch and sting, and that's on top of like a really really severe muscle spasm.
Yeah.
So you got them all at one time. It's I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, it hurts.
Mm.
But Doc gave me some good drugs though.
There you go. He's
I
feeling fine,
imagine.
everybody.
I imagine that's why. Yeah, you're up now. Yeah. Well, that's. I'm
But
glad to
I'm
see.
sorry for interrupting you, Rob. And Brandy, thank you so much.
Tex, you never
But
interrupt, man. I thought we were gonna do the show earlier, and then Brandy, of course, being Brandy, says, "Hey, Tex, go back to bed," which was cool. By on Brandy's part, she's awesome, and to see you was awesome too. I was just kidding. Brandy shared a couple stories. I shared a weird story, but we were going to get into, and when I'm done, Tex, maybe you can share something if you're obliged. Maybe we can talk about
Sure,
this.
sure.
So, but this is one of my favorite stories. You both have heard it. I have a lot of newer people
I love this
subscribers,
story.
as does Tex, as does Brandy. So a lot of people haven't heard this. It's about the ghost encounter at the bar, man. And being that
Yeah.
it's Halloween, if I tell it once a year, fine, right? And I was telling Brandy earlier, my Bigfoot encounter wasn't cool when you talk about everything that happened,
right.
right? So, but this is cool because nothing bad happened. It was a cool experience, and so, for those that don't know that are joining us, I owned a bar for 13 years. I sold it in 2020. And over the 13 years, employees would say, and I always worked like 10 in the morning till like 10 at night, sometimes till midnight. I mean, I worked 24/7, basically. But I was never there um, for closing out, and the people always went home literally at 3:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
So the witching hours, 3 a.m., I guess, right? And people would tell me that they would say that the bar was haunted, but always after close up, after 2 o'clock, they would hear like little voices, plates would drop out of the cupboards and break. And then the biggest thing though is they would always clean up the bar tops and the tabletops, put everything away, and there was an office when you did the paperwork at the end of the night. The first step, the first process, everybody is when everybody's out of the bar at night, you check the bathrooms, make no one's in the bathroom. You make sure the lot is clean and there's nobody in the parking lot. And then you go back in, you lock the doors, you clean off the tables, all the beer bottles, beer cans, glasses, whatever, put it away. Then you go in the basement of this place Thank you, Two Shadows. That's awesome. Two Shadows, awesome super chat. So you'd go into the basement and you do the paperwork because a lot of things that had to be done before you went home. So typically, you would not get home. You would not leave the bar until like 3:30 in the morning, typically. So, and people were telling me that they've heard weird things. These beer bottles, they would come up to leave, Tex, and everybody listening, they would come up and leave. There would be a beer bottles on tabletops or shot glasses, and they knew they put them away because they were great about that. Then they'd have to go back, clean them up, and put them away. So this periodically would happen, and they would tell me all about this. I'm like, well, I worked some nights, you guys, but I never experienced that or heard any voices or anything. So there was this one week where we were really short-handed. My cook was off, my two top bartenders were off. So good old BMR spent the night in this place literally for 3 or 4 days. I got in at 10 in the morning and I literally would sleep there because in the basement where the office was, I made a room with a bed in it because I didn't condone or want anybody to drive home either too tired or maybe a customer bought them a couple drinks. I said, look, spend the night, leave in the morning. So that was set up for everybody. Nice, cool bedroom. I'd spent a couple nights in my bar because taking care of business. And so one night, it's me working by myself. Thank you, Josh Castro.
Thank you.
So again, one night I clean up, sent the help home, or not the help, my employees, sent them home, and the bar is cleaned off. The bar tops are cleaned off. The bar's cleaned off. The tables are cleaned off. So I go lock the doors, check the bathrooms. I go in the basement, and I start doing my paperwork. Now, everybody listening, man, I'm in the office, and I hear what appeared to be some sort of chatter upstairs, from the basement. And I'm like, that's strange. So I walk up the stairs, and when you get to the top of the staircase from the office leading up to the bar, you guys, immediately to the left is a square bar. Okay, it's a square, and then off to the far left, there's another longer extended bar. And I look up, and at this point, when I get to the top of the staircase, these voices they stop, and I looked around. I see nothing. Everything's fine. And I shout out hello. And then out of repetition, I check the bathrooms once again because a lot of times people, if you don't check a stall or two, you might have someone passed out, that you didn't see. Yeah, strange things in the bathrooms, okay, especially around closing. But everything was fine. So I'm like, okay, I brush it off. I go back in the basement where the office is. I start doing my work and I'm down there, and all of a sudden, a couple minutes into myself in the office, I hear more and more. I hear more chatter. I'm like, what is going on here? What's going on here? So I proceed up to the top of the staircase again, and at the far end of the bar, at the corner, there's a corner. There was at this vantage point, it appeared to be 4 apparitions. On the outside of the bar, there was like 2 men figures, and adjacent to them on the corner on the 90 was 2 women. And as I get up I get up on the top. Now I'm on top of, I'm on the flat floor looking at the bar. I get a little closer, and the men seem to be dressed up like gangsters. They had like pinstripe suits on. And when I say the description, everybody, they were translucent, but the clothing that they wore was descriptive. It was vibrant. Yet you could see through them to the other side of the bar, though, just to point that out. And the men, they had the fedoras on. They had these pinstripe suits, kind of remind me of the days of Dillinger or, I don't know, any of the gangsters. And then the women were like flappers. They had, like, from what I could see from the other side of the bar, they had these frilly, like, dance dresses on with the little bands around their heads. And so it reminded me of that era, and that's what they look like. And and they're going about their business, everybody. They're chatting. Now I can hear chatting going about. I can't make out what they're saying, but they're definitely speaking. They're definitely speaking. And I'm, you know, and I have to preface this by saying I wasn't scared, everybody, because I went through a lot. I've seen a lot of ghosts in my life ever since the age of 6. This is 2020. I had my Bigfoot encounter 2018. I've seen ghosts. So whatever the reason, I embraced this. I wasn't scared. But I'm trying to listen in, and they're ignoring me. And then I happen to look, you guys, and I start moving toward my left, toward the other end of the bar, and I notice in front of the two guys, there's a fifth of Jack Daniels sitting there, a bottle, and there's 2 shot glasses. The women, there was a bottle of wine by the women with 2 wine glasses. And I'm peering in at this, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. And there's drinks, there's actual liquor in the shot glasses, and it appeared like the wine glasses had remnants of wine in it. So now I'm really intent on this, and I get to the opposite end of the bar, and I'm looking at these ghosts. And you guys, for whatever the reason, I get a little irritated because they're paying me no mind. They are going about having a good old time. And I kind of, clear my voice, go, no response. Again, no response. And I kind of get ticked off for whatever the reason. I take my left hand, boom, I slam it on the top of the end at the end of the bar. I want them to recognize me because I want to kind of experience this as deep as I can get into this, right? All of a sudden, the kibitzing stops. I think the women, they kind of glazed at me, but they continued on like women do, ignored me. But they kept like, it looked like they were talking. But the dudes in the pinstripe suits, fedora hats, they look at me. And now I got their attention. I'm like, wow. And before I can really say out or maybe make a communication toward them, it's the amazing thing happens. One of the shot glasses, one of the ghostly men takes his hand out, wraps it around the shot glass, and it elevates 12 to 18 inches above ground with his ghostly hand wrapped around it. And a physical shot glass from my bar with whiskey in it elevates in ghostly hands, transparent ghosts. Okay. I'm mesmerized. I'm thinking in my head, wow. Then it slips out of the fingers of this ghost. It hits the top of the bar. Now, the bar was like made of wood, a hardwood, but nonetheless, when it hits the top of the bar, 12 to 16, 18 inches elevated, it shatters. Now, anybody that's been in the bar business or anybody that buys good glassware for your bar, you know that these shot glasses or these tumblers, because they were tumblers, they're very thick. You can literally drop them from a 4-foot setting and maybe they chip. They don't shatter into a million pieces. You would have to take that in your hand and with all your might, just throw it at the ground. You'll probably shatter. But the bottom will always stay intact. It's too thick. It's not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. This was just exploded, man. Glass all over. And I'm looking at this. And I'm looking at these ghosts. They have my attention for sure. And they're looking at me and I'm staring at them. I might have said something, I forget, like wow or something to myself. And then you guys, they slowly, and they were distinctive. They were men, they were women, pinstripe suits, frilly dresses on the ladies. Then they slowly started to fade and morph away. And they seemed to get older and older and older until they're almost a skeleton form and they're gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell just happened here? And I go down. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. I don't know why. My adrenaline. I was like, I'm trying to process this, of course. And I walk toward the bar, right? And sure enough, there was glass. I put my fingers in the whiskey. It was whiskey. The Jack Daniels bottle was freshly opened because, as most people, if you're familiar with drinking or fifths of booze, back in the day when I owned the bar, it's different today. They're mostly plastic, screw up. It used to be a ribbon paper would connected, was a part of the cap and the bottle. So, and that was ripped. So it was brand new. Brandy, you got old stuff on your back bar. And this was taken off. This was taken, you guys, off of the shelving, because in the middle of the bar, I had a rotating where all the booze bottles were, and I rotated around to where the Jack Daniels was supposed to be. And do you know, in the front on the shelf of the rotation was a Jack Daniels bottle, which was open. It was half full. In fact, whatever this was, they took the bottle in back of it. I always said that in the story, but yeah, it was taken from the back. It wasn't an old one. It was freshly opened. So the employees came in the next morning. I said, "You guys aren't going to believe this. You guys have been telling me you think that something's going on here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I told them this spooky story, this encounter, this ghost or whatever it was." And they're like, "Ross, see, we told you." Now, they'd never seen an actual ghost. They have heard no breaking of glasses. They've heard certain sounds and said, "Rob, we think it might be haunted." So they're like, "Oh, yeah, Rob, you're not crazy, man. Too bad we weren't there." So I did a little investigation. Not that I investigated this, I kind of knew prior about the bar, but the bar was built during Prohibition. So when you talk about these two men, the women, they kind of fit that description of that era. And I guess further looking into this, that bootlegging was ran out of here, or was one of those speakeasies. So it kind of matches up, and I think that maybe Brandy, you know more than anybody, trapped ghosts currently living in their dimension that were hanging out at the bar, because I'm guessing that was their place that they went to back in the day. That's the only thing I can come up with. Yeah,
sounds like it. That's what I would kind of assume, and I'm wondering, because how a lot of people accuse bars of watering down their liquor. How many times have you heard that, right?
Yeah.
You water down your liquor. It's not the case. It's just maybe somebody pours a little bit heavy and somebody pours a little bit light. It's not watering it down. It's just the way it tastes. Anyway, I'm wondering if they took that bottle from behind, thinking if you were watering it down, they were going to take the good stuff.
Well, that's boy, oh boy, Brand, I love your thoughts on that. Number one, I did not. If you went to the good old BMR bar, what's it called, BMR, by the way?
He would never
I don't
ever pour you water. No,
I would never pour you water. If
no.
you're paying top dollar. I wasn't cheap like that. But yes, you make a great point, because yes, bars do that all the time.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's kind of like I said, they either pour a little light or they pour heavy. It just depends on your bartender, really.
My bartender's all poured heavy. That's why I always, oh my God, stop, please.
And that's why I was wondering if that's why they took the bottle in the back, because that's the good stuff. It hasn't been opened.
Maybe so. But how does ghostly, it's transparent, not physical. But I guess the energy, there's an energy. How do you pick up a bottle that's, half a pound, a shot glass? My thing is the levitation. And the glass shattering. That glass are not supposed to shatter like that either. That was, the whole instance is weird, I don't know that I've seen anything like that. Go ahead, Tex.
Well, it's your story, with the whole physical interaction and everything. That's like me patting that one on the head. It was solid.
Yeah.
It amazes me the amount of energy that these things have to have to expend to do stuff like this. you know,
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh yeah. Well,
because you're
and plus it's a bar. It's always high energy.
right,
And
right,
I mean, they can grab that energy from somebody who's laughing and having a great time. They can also grab that from somebody who is depressed or
right.
sad. They can grab that high emotion too. So a bar would be like a perfect place to
Yeah,
gain energy and to have that type of manifestation.
yep,
So, I mean, but it's very rare that you get a manifestation like you did.
yeah,
Normally, you will get one or the other. You'll get something that moves, or you'll get the apparition. You normally don't get both.
right.
You normally don't get those. That was rare, and I wish I could have seen it
Oh
because
yeah,
that would have been probably the most awesome thing I'd ever seen.
You know, that was, oh my God, Brand, that, you guys, I wish you could have seen it. And here's the thing, too. And I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I don't know if this plays a role in it because at my bar, I had a pretty good video system set up. Mainly for if something bad happened, if we were robbed or something. I
right,
wasn't set up to, I I trusted the staff. I wasn't seeing if they some bars, they got the camera right on their register to see if someone's stealing. I didn't roll that like that. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable because again, I was a pretty good judge of character. I had one incident in 13 years with a guy that stole from me. That was it. So I was pretty confident. So, but a little lackadaisical, right, with my camera setup. But I went back and reviewed tape all the time. We would make a process of reviewing tape. I would review tape to see how the waitresses, if they were being good with the customers, mostly a customer service thing. But
Mhm.
for that week that I spent when I don't know if this is a coincidence. None of us really believe in coincidence. But in all the tapes that I've ever reviewed throughout the years, never seen anything on tape. And do you know that this was something I wanted to replay back? But during that week, I was having my entire camera system redone. So none of the cameras were rolling. So my question to you guys is this. Did they know that they could get away with it and not be recorded?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If I had that recording of that, that would have been on YouTube. It would have went viral.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. It's just kind of like I've learned myself never to go into a haunted location unless I'm equipped with, an audio, video, something that could capture whatever. And I cannot tell you how many times I forgot my golden rule and walked into a place and within the first 2 seconds something happened. And I couldn't catch it because I wasn't ready.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if you're going on a ghost hunt or looking for Bigfoot, I mean, yeah, make sure you're got your ducks in a row. Like we did this show with you, Brandy, kept running out of battery juice. Yeah, that's a great, yeah, what you say makes tons of sense. But man, it just seems like, man, of all the days I'm redoing this video equipment, if something happens, I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
And I don't even know if it would have showed up on tape. Half the times it does not. You know what I mean, though?
I mean, you probably would have seen something. It probably would have not been as clear as what you would have seen it with your own two eyes.
I just want to see the levitation of the shot glass if that would have showed up, since
I would
that
have
was
just loved to
physical.
seen the blurs.
Yeah, or anything.
I would have because that's probably what you would have caught. You wouldn't have caught anything crisp, most generally. But then again, who knows? But yeah, I mean, can you imagine just having that? But to have that
Oh,
glass levitate and shatter,
yeah, that was something
yeah,
else.
that'd have been
That was
good.
that would have been fantastic. And I must say that is why I like to tell this story once a year, or well, I've said it maybe three, 4 times. But again, that is my number one. I think if I have to match it against the Bigfoot, that for me in my career as a career, weird high weirdness guy, with all the
Mhm.
weird things I've gone through, that to me is number one. That to me supersedes the Bigfoot only because of it's kind of, a little sour taste in my mouth.
Right.
I love that story.
Yeah.
And no,
I
I
like
said
that story.
story. It is an encounter. It is an experience. I always say story. Hey,
I don't know.
text, man. Go
Every
ahead,
time I
Brandy.
hear that story, though, I think of another theory or something that happened.
Well,
It's like I've always got a different angle
you know,
on it every time
and
I
here's the
listen
thing.
to it.
When you have a good experience, it's good to talk about more than once or twice because, as you said, you come up with different theories, different
Mm-hmm.
ideas. So
Mm-hmm.
for people that have heard it before, I'm sure they dig it. And with the growing, our channels grow, and not everyone's heard them, so I don't feel bad telling them.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, Tex, you're so kind to come on. It is the Halloween show. Do you have a creepy thing you'd like to share with us?
But yes and no.
Okay, yes or no. Well,
I've got a picture that I want to share with everybody that
you
we
can
just
work
got
on that,
sent.
Tex, because I have to excuse myself for just 2 minutes.
You
And
don't okay, but you're gonna miss this, and you're
I
gonna be
will
That's
not
all
miss.
right.
I'm
If
not.
he misses it, he misses it,
I ain't
Tex.
gonna
That's what
miss
it
it,
is.
Tex. Do you have it queued up already? It used to
yeah,
take you 2 minutes.
I do.
Well, I'll wait for you to queue it up. Monica Rollins.
That is Monica.
Oh boy.
That's kind of what I said too.
We can't make that bigger. That is that what the text I got? Was that her texting?
Yeah.
I gotta look this on the phone and make it bigger.
Here, I think.
Oh my lord, that is pretty creepy. Well, you can't. That's creepy.
Here, hang on a second. I can do this. I
Yeah,
can
I'll
do
be
this.
right. Oh wow, that's creepy, Monica.
Yeah, it's like we dressed up last night on the show.
I'm just like, holy mackerel.
Yeah. Greg Gogol
Killing.
said that Monica can be real creepy. She loves Halloween. So absolutely. Especially when she hasn't had coffee. Well, that might explain a lot.
Well, I don't know if this is what I would call creepy or not. This is freaking hot. I'm just
She's supposed to
saying,
look creepy. I'm sure. Come on.
it's creepy hot. Okay, let's do that.
Well, Tex, you might be a little warped.
It's got the whole what um oh, what's her face? The Joker's girlfriend.
Harlequin.
It's got the whole Harley Quinn thing going.
Ah,
She's probably gonna shoot me for sharing all this stuff.
she probably is. I would stop now while you're ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm not that smart.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna say you should never ever send him anything. It's gonna end up on our stream.
But that's a okay. So she sent this to our group text, and Jason Jason replies, "You see, text. This is why you get hexed by voodoo women. You miss the obvious flags."
There it is. If I couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. The red flags are there and you're just bypassing them.
Oh Lord.
Well, anyway, we're at the hour and a half mark right now.
Well, hang on. I've got this figured out.
What's this text?
I don't know. He's going to bring this picture up.
Yes.
Okay.
So if Tex gets in trouble, Everybody that is watching and in chat can vouch for me and Rob. We did not do this. We had no part of it.
Okay, well, that's Monica again.
Yeah.
Always make it bigger. Zoom in on her face. It don't even look like her. That is something I would not want to come across.
I believe that's a mask.
Yeah, well, it looks like a kind of like a black-eyed kid, but a very creepy kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I like that. Monica,
That's
you
a little
outdid yourself.
creepy.
Monica, very nice.
That's a little creepy.
Very creepy.
She sent a. Dadgummit. Jump over here real quick. Where's the other one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another creepy one. I just seen this. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I won't have to resize this one or anything.
It's yeah, I don't think so. That is really cool.
That is a little creepy.
That is very creepy.
Kind of a cross between the Saw dude, you know what I mean? Saw.
Yeah.
And The Ring and
Harley Quinn.
the Harlequin.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go. There's three of them all wrapped into one.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Man. So yeah, there was a story that, and I guess I'll go ahead and tell it. I'll tell the kind of creepy ghost story first.
Okay. Yes, text please. And yes, that picture took on Japanese connotations.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes. So, my parents died back in 1987, and my sister and her now ex-husband moved his mother up into my parents' house, which were on the same property, the house that I grew up in.
Okay.
And moved her up from Corpus Christi, and she comes walking over at the house, over my sister's house one morning. She usually went over there and had breakfast with them. And she sits down and she says, okay, my stuff is packed and y'all are moving me back today. And they're like, what? She's been there like a couple of weeks. She's like, and they're like, what? No, wait a minute. No. And she's like, no, you're moving me back today. She goes, I just had coffee with your mother.
Oh boy.
And she informed me that that was her house. She said she actually sat down and she was at the kitchen table at my old house, and my mother appeared and told her, this is my house, and I would rather you leave.
Yeah.
Which it's not like my mother.
Okay.
It's really not like my mother. My mother was very inviting and anybody, but yeah, it was. She said she wasn't mean about it, but sorry for the background noise.
Now you're muted.
You muted yourself.
Oh, he's got the mute. The noise is not coming through, Tex.
Oh, it's not. You can't hear
really.
that.
No.
Yeah, a little bit. It doesn't disturb the audio.
Right. So, Okay, let's tell this story from the Jefferson Conference.
Yes.
This story's a little racy. I'm going to put it out there right now.
Well, it's only 1 in the afternoon.
Might be a little early for after dark activity and talk.
Well, the kiddies are probably still at school. Last time I heard Halloween.
Mine are not in school.
Oh, okay.
My child is not. They have today and tomorrow off. Yeah.
Oh,
Go for it, Tex. Go for it.
well, maybe we ought to do it on a.
Maybe we need to do it a late night.
Yeah. We'll say this one on a. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you want, if it's that
Because it
racy,
is weird, everyone. It is weird. We'll just have to wait and join BMR and late night and talk about that one.
If Tex says it's racy, then yeah, maybe we will put it on the midnight show. If Tex, of course,
it's
is
spicy.
available. If it's spicy, we'll have to save. If Tex, of course, if you're up this Saturday, I don't know if you're taking off.
No, I'll be up. I'll be at work, but I'll be up.
Oh no.
Well.
Yeah, it's a very spicy story.
Very spicy.
Yeah, it is, and we actually me and Jason and Donnie actually had a conversation that was this possibly a succubus or a voodoo woman. We actually had the conversation.
Oh yes, I know this part of this story. Yeah.
That's a late night.
And of course, it's a late night, and anything with Donnie Cho involvement is definitely a late night.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, I recommend that story for late night, and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like Patty says, or Donnie Show. We can get away with it on Donnie Show.
Yeah, Donnie Show, you get away with it. I want to thank Diane Boss and Two Shadows for your awesome super chats. Thank you to Josh Castro for gifting 5 new pirates. Arr! Arr!
Arr!
Yes.
And don't forget, folks, if you join BMR and the Blondes and Booze and Texas Front Porch, what do you become?
A paranormal porch pirate.
Yes,
it's
a trifecta, the paranormal porch pirate. Indeed. And of course, I see some new faces. If you're new, subscribe to the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast, Texas Front Porch, Bigfoot Mr. Rob, Paranormal Paul, Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World. Am I forgetting somebody?
Donnie Cho.
Donnie Cho says stuff. I think I said Donnie. Hey, if you got your tickets, Greg Ogles, he's in the house, January 4th, screening, showing of his new film. If you happen to be,
Cryptid Encounters.
Huh? What?
He is doing a showing of his new documentary.
Yes.
January 4th, Coleman, Alabama.
Yes. If you happen to be in Alabama, stop on in.
Where do you?
And you'll also be able to see it online. He just said that in chat. He is going to stream it that day also. So if you can't make it to Coleman, you will be able to watch it online.
So do you buy tickets at the door or what?
I think you have to buy them in advance because it is
premiere.
There is preferred seating, so you have to do them in advance. So he knows how many seats are available where.
So how do you buy tickets?
Well, you're going to have to contact Greg Ogles on Facebook.
We don't have the link. If there is a link,
I don't have one right with me right this moment. I need to find it. If not, Greg, can you post the link in the chat, please?
Greg, we'll stand for you if you got a link and to get that posted. Then people, the link he already posted. He said so. I don't know.
Well, did we miss it?
I don't know if we can. I don't know. I don't see it, Greg.
I don't know where it's at. I don't see it.
You didn't post it on this show, did you, Greg?
It's like, come on, Greg. If we're gonna promote your stuff here, you're gonna have to have the link for us.
Yeah. Thanks to 86, PRT's been doing Halloween shows all week long as well. Go check out Josh. he always puts out great stuff, especially for Halloween, as he always does. He says it's there, so he says it's there. So as long as he says it's there, we've got reams of things I can't find it, but there's so many people talking. But anyway, it's there. It's January 4th in Alabama. Go to Greg's Facebook, because I'm sure you can definitely find it there.
Right.
And,
you find it there. Contact him there.
Contact him there. And
yeah, the trailer is under you on YouTube under Greg Goggles. You can find it there. Yeah. Relic Films. You can find the trailer there. You can leave messages there, or contact us. We'll get you there.
We'll get you there.
One way or another.
Maybe tonight we'll provide the link for Greg, because tonight I'll be joining you, Brandy, with Mr. Dennis Carroll.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's been making the circuits here lately.
He makes the Halloween circuit. I had him on earlier. The girls are having him. I don't know that he's been on the front porch. He's been on the front porch, but I don't know about the past month.
Greg says it's there. I'm looking at it and stuff. Well, post it again.
Post it here, if you don't mind, again, for us that missed it. But you know what? Maybe we can play that trailer tonight too, Rob. Now that we're thinking about it, maybe we'll play it tonight.
We can incorporate that into the show. I mean,
yeah.
We got we're not going nowhere,
right?
And when is it?
January 4th, Coleman, Alabama.
Okay.
Yep. So. Well, Tex, thank you so much for coming on, despite having shingles and sleep deprivation. Brandy, thank you for assisting me earlier. I always love when you come on, as you know.
Oh, I love to come on when I'm not working.
When you're not working. Brandy is always here when she's off, which is awesome. Thank you for that. And Tex is always here typically, except
whether he's sleeping or not.
Yeah, we needed to give him a little rest because
exactly. He may be sleeping in the background, but he'll be here.
Tex, how shall I say, burns the candle at both ends a lot of times.
I understand how he does it. I do it too.
Yeah, I think we all kind of do in some weird way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah.
With that being said, check out the booze tonight at 9 in the East, 8 Central. Me, Brandy, Rob, Dennis Carroll. We'll do the trailer for Greg. And Saturday night, midnight, we're having a cool show with the girls. Tex back with us on Sunday, Infamous Minds.
Yep.
And then the front porch on Monday. So, with that being said.
Hey, don't forget, we forgot one channel. She just started up, Danielle's new channel. Tea Time with the Duchess.
Tea Time with the Duchess. The Duchess of Canada. The Duchess of Canada.
Monica just cleared things up. It's the Purge, her costume.
Yeah. Somebody in chat mentioned that, Monica, if you're listening in. The Purge.
Everybody wait for the horn.
Yeah.
Monica's out tonight. Wait for the horn.
Oh boy. Yeah. We have to hear what she has to say at midnight on Saturday about her purging expedition taking place apparently somewhere in Texas.
See if she made it through the night, right?
Yeah. You're right. With the looks of that costume, she probably she'll do quite well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see her in the morning.
Yeah, we'll see her. We'll see her with her knives, her bloodstained knives during the show.
Right.
With that being said, thanks to everybody for coming on in. Thanks for the super chats and memberships tonight. Of course, I'm BMR. Thanks to Brandy. Thanks to Tex. Thanks to all of you for coming on in. We had over 60 people in the chat, which is cool for a Thursday. And there's 297 currently watching live. You guys are awesome as well. You help drive the show as well. Thank you so much for that. So, see y'all tonight on the Blondes and the Booze. I am BMR, and for Tex, for Brandy. Until next time, we're out. Happy Halloween,
bye, everybody.
See ya. Are you ready?